almost always happens afterwards. I did a play in college called Getting Out. And I played a security guard in a women's prison. And one of my best friends in college, the play was about this one woman who was in prison, and the stage was split in half, and one actress played this same character while she's in prison, and another actress played the same character when she's out of prison. And my character was the one constant in her life. And I had a rape scene that I had to do. And it was by far one of the hardest things I've ever had to do on stage. And it's so difficult to be so opposite of who you are to do that. And I get that from you, Gary, that, you know, you're not this, you know, and good job in elevating it to do that. Because these are the really tough characters to play, but they're the funnest characters to play. They're the most rewarding characters to play. Not necessarily in my case. I mean, I don't want to sound like I had a lot of fun doing that role. I didn't. But it was very challenging as an actor, and I grew a lot as an individual doing that. And every night, you know, it got to the point where every night I felt that I had to, you know, make up with her, but it got to the point where she couldn't stand seeing me, the actress, because of and that. So, you know, that's how dangerous, you know, these can get. So it's pretty obvious who this guy is. I mean, overworked, workaholic, you know, and that stuff. And what's fun with those characters is he wasn't always this. He wasn't always this workaholic. And that's where you can really dig into that core wound as to what happened to him as a child, that as an adult he feels that need to do this to the point where he hurts the ones that he loves, you know. And probably even unbeknownst to him that he's actually, you know, doing it. You know, we were talking about the villain doesn't think he's wrong, you know. Yeah. And that. So how did you approach it with that as far as a core wound?
I think, you know, when Helen and I were talking, it was kind of one of those things to where we just came up with that this guy was just always pushed as a kid. Yeah. You know, Dad pushed him in football, Dad pushed him in baseball, you know, Dad pushed him, you know, all the time, and you know, and kind of, I mean, that's kind of what we came up with. It's just that he was, you know, he was always pushed, and now he's having to, you know, push through.
Yes, he's gotten to the point where he pushes himself, maybe out of habit or something. Okay, good. What about for her?
I felt like I was insecure. I was trying to keep my family together. I was trying to tell my husband, connect with me because our family's falling apart. Our kid is getting into trouble because the dad's not there.
Yeah. You know what we got with you that I loved was your fragility. She came across really fragile, that she just wants this night out, but there is an ulterior motive. I mean, you wanted him to get out so y'all could discuss this issue with your son, but the way you approached it and delivered it, it really came across that, you know, that you were struggling with doing this.
Well, so, you know, the title was Abusive Argument, and so we decided he was probably semi-abusive at home, and so maybe if I talked to him out in public, he wouldn't be as mean.
And
I was trying to tell him to be quietly here, maybe I won't get hit.
Yeah, we're in a restaurant, and I'm just not caring at all about who hears. I just don't care. So.
Exactly, and that came across. I mean, you know, I totally got abuse out of that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us did. You know, I mean, at the end, get your fat ass up. I mean, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I was ignoring her the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, so
And I would, in yours, I would strive to not play everything intense and everything as obtrusive from her, and that just give it some colors, some layers. So, you know, the first time it may be, you know, you're pleading with her, and you know, listen, I want to do this, you know, I want to be with you. I have to get this done, because if I don't get this done, we can't survive. Well, because that's his motivation. There is this is the most important thing, more important than you, more important than our son, you know, and that's a good core one you could look at too. You know, is that the overworked stems from this need to support his family, And what it turns him into is this beast, you know, who escalates to that point. But it'll give you some nice layers that you can play where you don't start out there. You know,
one thing that we talked about is at the very beginning, you know, when she's, you know, like talking nice, and I'm like, look, you know, we did it a couple of different ways where, you know, like being really nice. Like, look, I just have to, you know, get this work done, you know, and then, you know, down a little bit, you know, you just freak out.
Yeah.
You know, quit bugging me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing is, you know.
And like the restaurant, you know, one good choice you could have there too is instead of playing it where he just doesn't care what he says, play it to where he blows up and then realizes that he's in a restaurant, so he has to bring it down a little bit. But then there comes a point where he makes a decision that he doesn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't really care now. Now we've gone this far, and that's where we're going. You know, and that'll give you those layers and stuff. And with you, I mean, the great job in showing kind of the pain and the hurt and that. I mean, the pleading and that. I mean, you know, we all wanted you to. We were rooting for you. You know? Yeah. So great job, guys.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
job. Thank you.